Okay, Jennifer LaMont, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Hey, Brett. Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
Absolutely. Now, I appreciate this. You're out in Irvine right now. I believe you just got there yesterday for the Nationals, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I planned the trip so that I would catch the second half of nationals and the first half of junior nationals. So, yeah, I was able to catch finals last night, and that was fun. It was
Excellent.
fun watching the 400 IM for sure. I was excited to see that. It
Really,
was
not
a
many
good
people say
race.
that. Excited to see the 4 a.m. So,
Well, it was Katie Ledecky swimming the 400 IM, and it ended up being a very good race with Leah Smith. So, as
oh,
anticipated. So,
okay. Well, there you go. See, I didn't even pay
yeah,
attention. So
yeah,
that would have been a good race.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, you are the CEO of ASCA, the American Swim Coaches Association, and have been in that role now for how long?
So it's been about a year and 3 or 4 months.
Well, it's been a while then, so this has been too long. We needed to do this
So
a
now,
little
yeah, now
earlier, but
I can't say new anymore. That's the problem.
yeah. Once you pass a year, it's not new. So,
Yeah.
well, in your first year, then, what are some of the things that you've learned? Maybe some things that have been expected, and some things maybe that have been unexpected.
Okay. So I would say that, well, coming into this role, I felt like maybe my biggest weakness was the amount of relationships that I have within
Hmm.
the community. I mean, I was a swimmer, so I'm a
Hmm.
swimmer, and but I have been out of the sport for a long time. So it's easy to reconnect with people, and everybody, as you know, in the swimming world, everybody is
Yeah.
connected in ways. So it's always easy to strike up those conversations. But I really wanted to turn that weakness into a strength. So what I've done is, which if you follow our social media, like I have been out on pool decks as often as I possibly can. I
Mm.
am on Zooms all day long interacting with coaches because I really wanted to get those relationships going. I think that's so important, and to really hear what the issues are for coaches and what their struggles are and how ASCA can help and what role we can step into that maybe we weren't already playing. And I will say one of the very pleasant surprises has been the amount of support and from coaches and generosity.
Mm.
Everybody offers to help. Everybody wants to help me be successful, knowing that if I'm successful, the organization is successful. And if the organization is successful, then coaches are supported and successful. So
Yeah.
that has been one of the most pleasant surprises, I will say. Not that I wasn't expecting it, because I know coaches are that way. I spent my career in like the teacher union world for the most part, teachers and nurses.
Mm.
And I thought perhaps those were the most giving professions, but I have found that there is a even more giving profession, and that is coaches. And
Mm.
so it's been a lot of fun getting to know, rekindling old relationships, getting to know the new ones, and building that network
Yeah.
on behalf of coaches.
Well, that's awesome. Well, there's so much to dig into there. I had like 10 questions come up as you were speaking then,
Okay.
and which is good because I generally don't plan my questions. So
Mhm.
it's good that they're there. So, well, in terms of that's interesting perspective, but I think you did the right thing, and that's what I've heard from other coaches is that you're on the ground and
Mhm.
that you're talking to people and you're visible and you want to serve, and I think that is something in any profession. There's this, first of all, of like, all right, who's this new person, what are they going to do? There's that judgment period, and I think what you've just done is just drop the guard of all the coaches to say, look, I'm here to serve you. So I think that was a really smart tactic, and very effective, and that's what I've heard from a lot of coaches. So what are the struggles then? Where are coaches coming to you and saying, this is what we need from you?
So I would say what I'm hearing the most maybe is that there's a lot of burnout happening in
Right.
the profession.
Hmm.
I think especially coming through the pandemic, coaches, have gone above and beyond trying to find water space, and
Mm.
now and so much is on them. They say that athletes are struggling more than ever.
Hmm.
There's a lot of pressure from parents more than ever. So there's just a lot of pressure on coaches, and because they're givers, uh, you know, give and give, and to the point where they're burning out.
Yeah.
And And I also hear a lot about how they need support. Those coaches who are like running their own clubs or trying to run their own clubs need that support because they're in the profession to coach, right? That's why they got in. They love coaching. They love the athletes. They love the sport. And it's all the things that go around along with that you have to take care of if you're running a team. You know, the administrative stuff that is a struggle because that's not why you got into it. And maybe that's not what your, forte is. And so I hear a lot of that. So those are the kind of things that the light goes off in my head, like, okay, let me think about how we can provide some sort of support for that. So we're working on that. Right. And, we have developed a bunch of programs. Like what I have learned, and, it's been reinforced, is that coaches learn from coaches. That's the most effective way. So whatever we can do to put coaches together to learn from each other, that's the kind of things I'm trying to create in the situations. Like our mentor program, the first year was actually wildly successful because it's coaches interacting with coaches, and we got such great reviews. 100% of the people that participated said that they would recommend it. I mean, when does that happen? So we're going into our second year now. And so that's just one example of like where we're really connecting coaches, and we're doing a lot more, clinics, we're doing live webinars, all that, to really help out with those issues that coaches are talking about.
Well, that's really good because in a way, I think the success of my podcast has been kind of an offshoot of that, right? Like this need for coaches to connect and learn and information be readily available. And so like the majority of the people that listen to my podcast, I would say, are coaches, and the ones that interact with it, the ones that share it, the ones that ask questions, the ones that put in requests of who they want. And the viewers, in terms of like the most viewed podcasts I have are generally the coaches. It's not necessarily the superstar swimmers, surprisingly, in a way. So there's definitely that need out there. And if I did have a criticism of ASCA in the past, is maybe that need wasn't being met fully, years ago, not now with what you're doing. I think again, like I'm seeing like you're pushing forward on the things that I've been saying, like we need this, right? And so I don't want my podcast to be in the middle of that, or like I see this as like a partnership with you and I, in a sense of like, hey, how can I help you, with your position? Would you say that?
Yeah, and here's the thing, I am in favor of anyone who's helping coaches, right? Like in any way, like let's all work together. It doesn't need to be, I don't want to claim the territory necessarily. Right. I want to collaborate. And if you want to celebrate coaches, or not you, but you and others, anybody wants to celebrate, provide support, provide information, let's all work together. Let's make that happen. Because the more we do that, the better it's going to be. That's really what my attitude is towards it. And you do an amazing job, Brett, by the way. So since, you're right. Even when I'm out on the deck, that's part of the things I hear. Like, oh, I heard on Brett's podcast, or, coaches definitely listen to you, and like you're a main source of information. So, yeah. Well,
I appreciate that. I feel like I do have some influence now, which is nice, and I do, but I still don't feel like I know anything, like I'm not certifying anybody.
I know. I'm going to talk to you. You're like, nah, we just have a conversation. I'm like, but you're so good at it.
I think that's it. It's just conversational stuff. But what you're doing is, certification on a different level, which I think is so important. And I guess I've seen in the profession of swim coaching in the past, there's been like this divide or huge gap of quality of coaches, in a way where, you have the top end that really know a lot. And I think, again, like as part of a criticism of maybe ASCA in the past, is like, oh, let's just keep getting those coaches to come back and talk and talk and talk and talk. But now, what I'm hoping is that not only, does Eddie Reese know a lot, but the high school coach is really, up to speed on what they're teaching and how they're teaching it and the learnings. And they're going to get that from you. They're not going to get that from me. They're going to get like a snippet here and there, but the education, I would imagine they'd get from you, right?
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like there's so many coaches out there who are doing this amazing job and, finding out something that really works. But they're not at that elite national coach level. So, typically they have not been asked to share their ideas. So we're really trying to do that. And, it's funny you say, like, I have heard that criticism that, it's been the same old elite coaches that we hear from, and you can only hear from them so many times, and you've heard all their material, so to speak. So I took that as a challenge for this year's World Clinic. So, this year's World Clinic, we have, more than half, way more than half are people who have never spoken at the World Clinic before. All the way from elite folks like Mel Marshall, and Todd DeSorbo and you, although I think you've spoken there before.
Yeah, they asked me to do a presentation after Caesar won a gold medal. I didn't know anything at the time, so I put something together.
Okay. So yeah, man. So we have, we really have new, fresh voices, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback about that agenda. And for everybody. Like I had heard in the past, there wasn't enough for age group coaches, and so we, have a huge amount of talks for age group coaches on all kinds of subjects. So we have something for everyone basically, and I'm excited about your talk too, because I feel like that is going to be like a big hit with you interviewing Todd DeSorbo.
Well, that's it. I mean, give you some credit here for this, in terms of the idea of this, of me coming in, and I've got no plan with Todd DeSorbo. It's kind of like what I'm doing here with you is like, Todd's going to start speaking, and I'm going to have questions that just come into my brain, and we're going to grill him. We're going to get the best out of him, right? Like there and then, and we're going to record it, and everyone's going to be there watching, and I'm going to hammer him because look, he's just brilliant. He's one of the best in the world at what he's doing. He's young and up and coming in a way, right? But he's just that new crop, and he's doing some incredible things. And I think the idea of me sitting there and interviewing me is such a great idea of just, we can interact. And that's what I found in the past too, is like there's been this disconnect maybe between the speaker and the audience in a way. So this really bridges the gap. I think it's brilliant. So I'm super excited about it. But yeah, the clinic itself looks like it's been injected with new life. And so we're 12 minutes in here, so I don't want to lose anybody. So in terms of signing up for the clinic now and getting people there, what do they have to do?
So we have a website just for the clinic, ASCAWorldClinic.com. Couldn't be easier. And you can go there, see all the information, click on register, and go ahead and register. You can also get to it, obviously, through our website, which is our brand new website. So check that out while you're there. Swimmingcoach.org is the ASCA website. So either way, you can get in, read all about the schedule, and register. We have a lot of extra workshops that are surrounding it on the first day of Wednesday and on Sunday, and actually throughout, that you can pay for also. We have actually a small group session with Greg Troy, a small group session with Braden Holloway that you can pay for to get in, to be in a small intimate group for 3 hours with them, which is really cool. We're offering all our brand new certification courses on Wednesday leading up to the clinic. So if you're needing to get your next level, you can knock that course out in one day. While people are there, we want to have you make the most of your time. So we have a bunch of extra. We have a leadership session. So female coaches are invited to that to get together, which those sessions have been really popular at all the clinics we're offering. So we're doing that on Sunday morning. Just a whole plethora of stuff to choose from.
Awesome. So, awesome. Yeah. Great. I love it. And it's in Vegas too, right?
And it's in Vegas. What could be better?
Yeah. I love Vegas. Vegas is awesome. I've always had a great time in Vegas. So that'll be cool. Learn all day, gamble all night, So it's a win-win.
There's a casino right there in the hotel right down the hall. So that is a challenge. I took that as a challenge.
Where is it at?
Attention. It's at the Westgate. It's right at one end of the strip. It's on the monorail also. So it's easy to get places. It's gonna be great.
Hopefully we don't lose people during the day, just at night, but that's good. We individualize training in the pool, so why not individualize your nutrition? Erica Beine of Beine Wellness Building will help you and your swimmers get exactly what each athlete needs through genetic testing and personalized nutrition plans. So stop guessing what you should and shouldn't be putting into your body. Athletes within a few weeks have noticed they're recovering faster because they're fueling their body with what they need and staying away from what their body hates. Erica understands swimming. She gets it. She's worked with over 20 Olympians, including the fastest man in the world, Caleb Dressel. Group discounts are available, so go to Beine Wellness Building and get in touch with Erica today. That's Beine, Beine, wellnessbuilding.net. Swim Angelfish. Swim Angelfish is an online certification program that strengthens your teaching curriculum to serve swimmers of all abilities. Swim Angelfish will prepare you and your instructors with the skills to teach swimmers with autism, physical disabilities, anxiety, sensory and motor conditions, and more. Learn to teach skills faster and with more comfort with Swim Angelfish. Apply for an Only Alpha Pool Product Scholarship and receive up to 50% off your certification. Go to swimangelfish.com today to apply. Tell me about the certifications then, because I haven't had much to do with ASCA certification in a number of years. I guess I went through the process years ago. So where are we now with it? What does it look like?
Okay, so one of the things I heard when I came in right off the bat was, everything seems a little stale and old, and and it's old information. It was, so we and I have to say, our board of directors has been amazing. Like, they're not just sitting there, meeting once a month and having discussions. They are digging in and working, and they took on this project, and so we have 13 board of directors. They have all contributed to the brand new. We did a new online version of 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is Foundations and Introduction to Coaching. 2 is the Stroke School. So the Stroke School is one exception. So that's done by Russell Mark, which we can talk more about that. I'm so excited that Russell is working with us. So he did the entire new level 2 Stroke School for the online version.
Wow.
And then level 3 is physiology. We have board members working on that. And then 4 and 5 is a whole new concept. It's going to be live interactive webinars. So, because our board felt really strongly that, by the time you're a level 4 or 5 coach, like, you're pretty accomplished, and we don't want to give you busy work, and we want to treat you like a professional. So we're having live webinars on various topics. 4 is leadership and 5 is administration. So it's on those themes, but you get to come in and talk to other coaches who are pursuing that same thing and share ideas and interact with the whoever the expert is for that webinar. And so it really is with development in mind for people for coaches that are at that level. So we're really excited about all 5 new levels. I mean, and the things, we have a whole new learning management platform, so we can update it constantly. So we are determined to not let anything get stale anymore. Like, we will put in new sections constantly as they come about, so that we keep it fresh and relevant.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. I love all that. That sounds great. That sounds like a comprehensive program that by the time you get to the end of that, you're an accomplished coach. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Right. It's being led by all these incredible coaches, like you said, all the thought leaders of our community coming in and making this course, this program, something that's very comprehensive. So I like that. I do want to dig into the Russell Mark one real quick, but again, I don't want to hop on criticisms, but this is more me than you. But like, I had been coaching for 2 years at the time that Caesar won a gold medal. And, after he did that, in the mail, I get this: congratulations, you've been made level 5 ASCA. And to me, I felt like I cheated the system. Like, I'm like, there's no way I'm level 5. Like, I just started coaching. Yes, I had this incredible athlete that won a gold medal, but like, I wasn't even proud of that in a way. Like, is there a way now that we can avoid that from happening? Like, you have to go through the steps?
Yeah, that is not part of the program. And that's honestly a history I don't even know about. So
yeah. It was 2008. Like, it was years ago. I assure you
that's not how it's happening now.
Okay, good.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. No, I just didn't feel like I earned it. That's all. So it was cool to say I was a level 5 coach, but I just didn't feel like, so that's good. So in terms of the levels, you said Russell Mark's coming in, and you said level 2 with him?
Yeah, so level 2 is the Stroke School, and so what better, course for him to teach?
Yeah. So he's brilliant.
He's doing this in person at a lot of our in-person clinics that we've been doing, and people are doing it in person with him like a whole day. So loving it. Can you imagine like a whole day going through all 4 strokes with him, and he has video analysis that, he has gathered over the years and of the most elite athletes. And he's determined and really dedicated to keep up with who the most elite athletes are. So, and you know how he will really analyze what's happening now, what's happening in the latest races, what's happening with the young athletes who are now starting to make it up to the national stage. What are they doing? What are the commonalities between them? That's the kind of stuff that makes his analysis so relevant and exciting. And so again, he has recorded the online version, but he's going to be keeping it fresh and updated. So it's really great. And he's creating this whole new library for us for ASCA. So we'll have all those video snippets and his like brief analysis of things in a library that will be available to members, which is another thing that I just want to touch on, that we are moving a lot of things into the members only section of the website that you get access to if you're a member. And membership is only $88 a year, right? So it's what has been charged for in the past. We have now moved into it's free to you as long as you're a member and you log in as a member, because we really want to build that value for membership so that we can get as many members as possible, because that serves a whole nother purpose, which is our unity as coaches, which is so important. So I'm really trying to, make it so that coaches have, and I'm hoping whole teams will sign up so that they can go in and like view one of the hundreds of videos, whether it's a stroke analysis or a former talk, and then they can have a discussion about it or apply something, in practice that day. So yeah, that's a lot of what we're trying to do, is just really make all these resources available to ASCA members.
That's awesome. And in terms of value to members, you and I have something going on in terms of the company that I'm working for now, AnyQuestion. I've got 70 of the world's leading swim coaches and athletes on my platform or on our platform at AnyQuestion. And we've got almost 14,000 question and answers on the platform now. So people can use that as a resource. Yeah.
I have to say, I'm addicted to that dang app. It's addicting.
It is amazing.
So yeah, and on my off, when I'm just sitting, like, looking for a diversion or something, flipping through those questions and answers on that AnyQuestion app is just, it's fascinating. And you can I picked up these pearls of wisdom. Like the beauty of it is you pick it up in 30 seconds, you know? It's at your fingertips. Brilliant.
You get to know the people. There's personality, there's personal stuff in there, but there's a lot of coaching and education and like, what's your favorite lactate set? And you got 15 coaches answering, or swimmers even telling you what their favorite lactate set is. So like those things are really cool. And I will say that you're the first person in terms of the outside business world to come in and say, hey, I want to partner with you guys. And you are offering that now, a free membership to AnyQuestion through your membership at ASCA, right?
Correct. Right. So if a member logs into the members only site, our website, they can get access through that to your generous offer to give them free subscription through the end of this calendar year. So we're pushing it out there and encouraging folks to give it a try, because I think, like I said, I think people get addicted to it once it's so easy. That's the thing. And in this day and age, like if you just want to, do a quick hit and get some information, it's brilliant. I love it. It's so clever and so useful. And we're going to branch out to everything that you can imagine. We want to have a channel for it where experts around the world are on there answering questions just like that. So it's going to grow and it's going to be really big, and I'm excited to be part of that as well. So thank you for doing that for your members. I'm glad we're able to partner on that. That's another thing I'm doing. I mean, like you said, I agreed to it right away when we spoke, because, and I'm doing that with a lot of companies. Like, let's partner what we can, if it helps the company, but it also helps our members if they can get some sort of discount or, promotion that helps them try a new product. So I'm really working to do that as much as possible.
Awesome. Love it. What's the toughest problem that you're trying to solve right now?
The toughest problem. I guess it is, I think it's going to go back to that burnout question. And trying to really figure out what it's going to take for coaches to solve that problem. And it's not going to be one easy, simple thing. I want to provide places where they can get, emotional and mental health support, but I also want to provide the actual support that deals with how they get help with administration, how they find and understand that there can be boundaries and you can still be successful. You can make those boundaries to have, the rest of, your personal life, and you can still be successful. And so more and more, we're trying to get that message out. I think connecting coaches, like I said, it always comes back to connecting coaches. If you learn that somebody else was successful and able to do it and balance their life, then, you can learn from that. So, that's what it is.
Listen, I can speak to the burnout thing myself. very, very isolating when you're a head coach, especially where you feel like, the world's against you because you're, competing with each other, first of all.
Yeah.
And then you've got, alumni and fans and swimmers and everybody wanting to be number one in every program, and not every program can be number one. So there's a lot of pressures that come with it. And then there's just the expectation these days of like, all right, you're accessible all the time. Like you're the head coach. I need to get you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's like, you can't live your life like that. That's not healthy. Right. So, is there anything right now other than you just trying to solve that problem? Have you made any inroads there? Is there anything that they can lean on right now?
So I would say the mentor program is has turned out to be a great support system for that.
What is that?
So our mentor program is, and I can't take credit for it. CSCAA developed this program and very generously said, here, it's working for us. Take it, run with it, make it your own. So I truly appreciate that. Gene Fleck has been very, very generous in that regard. And the concept is simple. It pairs or groups a gold, silver, and bronze coach, and those are by experience level. So a newbie coach, a mid-career coach, and a veteran senior coach are grouped in a triad, and then they meet once a month on Zoom. We provide training every once in a while. Like every few months, we'll do a Zoom where we're kind of debriefing and helping people get the most out of the groups. And then we provide discussion prompts each month for them to have in their groups, and they can take it from there. And I'm telling you that it has taken off. People have told me that they now have lifelong relationships as far as mentor relationships, maybe others, I don't know. But that, people are really learning from each other, and it goes both ways. So like even the veteran coaches who are feeling that burnout are getting refreshed and revived by hearing and by helping the new newbie coach, And so I think it helps everyone. It's not like a traditional mentor-mentee. It's everybody kind of being together to problem solve together.
Yeah. I love that. That's really good. That's awesome. I think it's so needed.
Yeah, we had over 100 coaches do it last year, and I'm hoping for even more. We just closed the registration, but if you still want to get an application, now that we're talking about it, if you want to get an application and do it right away, it's on our website, and we're grouping them so that we can start in September. Those groups can start meeting in September.
Do you think we'll ever get in the next, few months, few years, a coach kind of stand up there and just say like, these are all the mistakes I made. This is how it burnt me out. Like I'm sure that the divorce rate in coaching is probably pretty high. I'm sure that burnout feeling is prevalent amongst most coaches, right? So like, is there any one coach who's willing to stand up and say like, I'm prepared to be like completely vulnerable in front of my peers here, you think?
I hope so. I think so. We've had this conversation actually on our board about trying to find those people that are willing to do it, and they are willing to. And I think we're going to hear some of that actually in at World Clinic. Some of our board members, and all of our board members are speakers at World Clinic, by the way, which is really cool. Right. But we've had those conversations because we do talk about this issue and how do we solve it. And coaches need to talk about, and there are coaches out there that I'm hearing are more and more saying, I'm making those lines, and I'm telling parents I'm only available till 6 o'clock at night or 7 or 8 or whatever it is. And you can't call me between these times. And when and they're finding that people will respect that when you say it. Like you feel like you're going to be, looked at like you're not doing your job or, but people respect that. People are, I think, more and more these days, they understand there's a boundary. Got it. Go do your thing, because you'll be better with me when you come back if you have that away time. Yeah,
absolutely, for sure. I definitely tried to have some of those boundaries at Auburn in terms of that. I used to say like, look, you've got me 6 days a week and my family's got me 1 day a week completely. Like Sunday's my day, like with my family. Don't text me, don't call me. If you're in the hospital, okay, we can figure something out, but like I want 1 day where I don't hear from anybody, and that's nothing against you. It's just I want to give my total time and attention to my kids at that point. And even then, it wasn't like it was balanced. Like, you know, you're giving 6 days to them and 1 day to your family in a way. And so it's still a mess. It's not a balanced thing, right? It's just a time and attention thing that you would like to give. So that was always challenging. And definitely the other challenge was that feeling of isolation of like, you know, as a head coach, you got to have it all together, and you can't reach out to your other, you know, competitive head coaches because you're all kind of against each other in a way, you know, so you don't want to show vulnerability.
Coaches are obviously so competitive, like you wouldn't be in it if you weren't competitive. And I think that plays into it too. So you always feel like you have to be doing more than the next person. And
exactly. Yeah. And especially on social media these days, it's like you're going to show your best, you know, face and everything about your program, about how great it is. So there's that, like, that feeling of like, I've got to show everything to be perfect and everything to be great, and I can't show any weaknesses in any way. So I do hope that changes. So that's good that you guys are bringing these programs in and getting coaches to speak like that. So I'm excited about the World Clinic in that sense. Is there anything on the horizon other than the World Clinic that you're super excited about that, you know, maybe not many people know about? Is there anything that you're working on, you know, behind the scenes at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. Yeah. And this is what keeps me up on the weekends and thinking and at night. And like, there's so many things I want to do. One of them is our ambassadors program, which I've been talking about for a while. And I'm really determined to get that off the ground, which is ASCA representatives throughout the country. We did an initial survey and got over 100 coaches interested in doing it. So I know that there's interest out there. The concept is that it would be a representative who, it's as simple as they would be feeding information to us about what's happening in their area. And then they would also be feeding information out to coaches in their area about ASCA programs that are available, or services, or information of any kind. So it's just a two-way flow of information that keeps us all engaged and keeps our organization, you know, more vibrant and more responsive and more relevant. And I'm really excited to do that because I can't be everywhere. And I want, you know, I feel like if we have these ASCA representatives that we're always in touch with, like ASCA can be everywhere and we can really be, like I said, so relevant for coaches. So I'm excited about getting that off the ground in the coming year.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm really encouraging folks to go onto our new website. We just launched it. It's state of the art. It's a new learning management system, and it's a new member experience when you log in. There's a community board now. It's very much like Facebook, but it's just within the ASCA website. So it's only coaches, only ASCA members, and you can have an idea, you know, idea exchange, and you can group with other coaches, message other coaches. So that's a really cool thing that I'm looking forward to really get moving and make it vibrant. And
that's officially launched already?
It is.
Okay, great. All right, I'll make sure that Nate puts that in the show notes here and make sure everybody can click on those and get there as well. So, well, listen, I did say 30 minutes and we've gone 31, so I appreciate your time. I know you got to get to the meet and meet with a bunch of coaches and stuff. So thanks for your time. I appreciate all the hard work you're doing, obviously doing great work, and look forward to seeing you in a month or so at the World Clinic.
Yeah, I can't wait for the World Clinic. It's going to be great. Oh, by the way, August 3rd is the deadline for the price increase. It's the deadline for regular registration and also for booking your hotel. So hopefully we'll get a flood of registrations in the next week or so, because I'm really hoping to get close to 1,000 coaches out there. I think it's going to be fantastic.
What do you think we're at now in terms of registration?
It's about, we're probably at about 500. I actually saw a bunch flow in today. So I know coaches wait till the last minute. I know this. So yeah, they're all starting to flow in. And I think
well, let's try and attribute 400 new signups to this podcast right here.
There you go. I also just want to say that if coaches out there, if they believe in what we're doing and you support what we're doing, we need members. And like I said, it's only $88 a year, but that's what helps us do these new websites and do these programs. And so it helps us have unity, right? So that the more unity we have as coaches, the more we're able to lift the voice of coaches and really be advocates for coaches because we're unified. So.
Well, listen, $88 these days with you at the lead is money well spent. So yeah, get on that for sure. Jennifer, I appreciate this. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brett. And thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care.
Destro Swim Towers.
Gain strength in the water with a tower of power. Save $150 per double swim tower by using code BRETT, B-R-E-T-T, at checkout. DestroMachines.com. Vasa has been the go-to training tool outside of the pool for over 30 years. Vasa's products are ideal for developing power and proper technique in your swimmer's catch. Add a few Vasa trainers to your pool deck and it's like adding an extra lane to your swimming pool. Go to vasatrainer.com, use code BRETT at checkout and get 10% off anything from Vasa.